Your wife is telling you that she's not in love with you. She's telling you that she wants some space. Maybe she even said, I'm tired of taking care of another kid in the house. In other words, she's talking about you, and you don't really know where this is coming from. Maybe this came out of the left field. Maybe this is just out of the blue. You're like, what the fuck? She says she's not in love with me anymore. I'm like, I guess we had a couple of problems. I'm not perfect. She's not perfect either, but we're married, you know? I thought, in another year or so, we'd be able to spend more time getting this relationship back on track. I know I've been busy, or I know I've just, I haven't been on myself. Maybe I fell into a depression. Maybe I lost my job. And I know we've had some problems, but I didn't think it was this bad. I didn't think it'd come to this. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why your woman loses attraction for you. And you're going to find out some shit you have not seen anywhere else, because most people fuck this up. Most people do not really understand this game of attraction for a woman. And so I'm going to show you exactly how it is. And you're going to see these frames that it pulls directly out of Soul Seducer. And I'm going to lay them out here for you so they're easy to understand, so that you can make a pivot right the fuck now. And hopefully you can turn this I love you but not in love with you situation around. Maybe your wife cheated on you, and she's saying, well, I wasn't getting my needs met. Well, I'm going to show you what those needs are here in this video, and so stick around. My name is Ed Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. The process of being with a woman for 50 years or a woman that you're dating is pretty much the same. For us, it's just science. Because we know the patterns, we know the solutions. It's not that complicated. You have to make a commitment for yourself. That's what it means to be in Soul Seducer program. That's what it means to work with me directly. So that you can learn to handle your emotions, so you can learn to see right into a woman's soul and seduce her from within, to create this garden that she can actually thrive in. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your chick. So if you're attracted to a woman, you want to see demonstrations of her sexiness. You want to see her with her makeup on and her dress and everything. But really what you're looking for, you're looking to see, is she actually fertile? You don't know that in your conscious mind. Like, yeah, I want a fertile woman. No, you're not looking for that. This is why you're looking for a younger woman, hip to waist ratio, big boobs, pretty face, and all that stuff. You're looking for somebody who's going to give you really good, viable offspring. But you don't notice that in your conscious mind. You just say, that woman is hot. That's a smoke show. She's hot. She's sexy. I want to have sex with her. That's all that's running through your mind. But in the background, this is what's actually happening. Women are looking for one thing: safety. Safety? What the fuck are you talking about, Ed? My wife is safe. She's safe. She's always been safe. If you asked her, does she feel safe? She's going to say, no, I don't feel safe. See, women are a scared lot. They're very scared all the time. They're worried about their physical safety. They're worried about getting taken advantage of sexually. They're worried that something's going to happen with the children. She's worried about everything. She's worried if she's going to keep her job. She's worried about money. She's scared of everything. And your wife, just like all women, have this sense of fear all the time. As a man, you can't relate to this, because as a man, you have this dominant presence, or you have access to the dominant presence, even if you haven't expressed it. And you're physically bigger. You know that you can hold your own in some sort of a fight. You have some physical strength. And if you don't, you're feeling weak and all that stuff, then that's something you need to remedy. And that's part of the problem here that I'm going to express here. But she's always looking for this thing of safety. And see, safety comes in two forms. Can you protect me from the world, and am I safe with you? And so the one where it's like, I'm safe with you, I call presence. And then I'm safe in the world is power. And so for your woman, she's looking for, the sexy value in you is your ability to demonstrate power. Power comes in a bunch of different forms, but the main one is dominant behavior. Can I fucking dominate the world? And can I dominate myself? Can I master myself? Can I be badass? And can I express that in the world fearlessly? This is the whole bad boy energy. Now, that kind of guy is going to have a lot of attention from women. A guy who has dominant behavior and is able to master himself, he's going to get a lot of attention from women. They're going to throw themselves at him. And so that kind of guy is different than you have been operating. Maybe you used to operate that at one point and your wife was all over you, but you just lost yourself over time. And now she's the one kind of running the show, and you're dancing on eggshells, and you don't really know what kind of woman you're going to come home to every day. You've lost the power in your relationship, and this leads to a roommate situation. The other one is presence. Am I safe with you? So this guy is the guy who has connection with her. He sees her. He understands her. He supports her. He takes care of her. And so she wants to see this powerful dude over here who also takes care of her. And these are the two things that she's looking for. And if your relationship is falling apart, you're usually lacking in one or both of these areas. If you've got way too much presence and not enough power, she starts to see you as the friend zone guy. He's nice, he's caring, he's accommodating, but I don't really respect him, and he's not that sexy, so I don't want to have sex with him. And then this is the problem. You'll start hearing these whole situations where, is that all you ever think about? we don't have to have sex. And you get this consolation sex. And everybody fucking hates consolation sex. As a man, you're like, I feel like I'm taking advantage of my wife. And the one thing that you want more than anything else is you want this sense that my wife wants me. I want to feel wanted by my wife. And so if this is the game of presence, this is where you're at. Like if you're lacking in power and you're trying to double down on presence, and this is where all other programs will fail you. Every fucking program out there is saying, you just got to work on your communication. Your wife needs to be seen and heard and understood. And they double down on presence when the guy is obviously lacking in power, and you wonder why you talk endlessly at the counselor and nothing ever fucking works. And see, Soul Seducer, we fixed this problem. You got to double down on power because you're being a weak little bitch and you're letting your wife run the show. You can't stand up for yourself. You can't have collisions. You can't navigate her back into her heart. You just get all spun up emotionally. You have no self-control. You have no internal power, and you're not exercising external power either. And so if you're the guy who is all power and not enough presence, this is the woman who feels isolated and alone. This is the woman who has this badass husband. Maybe he's an entrepreneur, making a bunch of money. He's never present with her. He's never there. He doesn't see her. She's kind of this trophy wife. And she goes and just fucks some guy at work because he just lent her an ear. He was just there to listen to her. And because she was starving for any kind of affection, hell, even piss looks good in the desert. And so this is where she was at. And you're like, how did she get with this loser dude? It's like, well, he just listened to her, bro. And most programs are dedicated to the presence game. Fixing a marriage that the guy has been absent and his wife just wants a little bit of love is the easiest thing in the world. You just got to show him how to actually see his wife. It's the easiest thing in the world. But the guy who is not into power, that's a different game because now we have to transform your identity from being this weak guy to being this powerful guy. And for most guys who've been weak or they've been emasculated or talked down to or shamed and guilted, there's a level of power that they have never accessed in their entire life because it's ripped out of them as a child, usually to some sort of childhood trauma related to the parents. And so this is the game that we do at Genuine Attraction. We mostly leverage the game of, I'm tired of being fucking weak and I want to be badass and I want women to be all over me. That's what we do here at Genuine Attraction. That is the game. And so when you get these into balance, the next game starts to come up, which is the art of seduction. And see, most guys, they think seduction is this game of manipulation. No, it is not. You see, the problem is that, and I'm giving you guys all the fucking good shit here. And so the thing is that seduction is an invitation to play. Do you want to go where I'm going? She's like, well, I don't know where you're going. Check out this fucking life I've built. You sure you don't want to go here? She's like, I don't know, it looks pretty cool. Yeah, and we're going to have a lot of fun too. And so the invitation to play is the game of flirting. It's the game of playing. It's the game of seduction. See, when you went and you saw the trailer for Lord of the Rings, you were seduced. It was an invitation to come see the movie. Hey, look at the cool shit we got here. They didn't force you to go to the theater and buy the fucking ticket and put your ass in the seat. No, you did that willingly. You chased after that movie, just like I did. It wasn't a great movie. I sat there for 3 hours and I was sad it was over. That's seduction. Seduction is an invitation. Most men think that seduction is, how can I manipulate this woman and say just the right words and tactics to get her into my bed so I can have sex with her, and then I can feel better about myself because I figured it out. I figured out women. That is not seduction. That is manipulation. That is not genuine attraction. That's fucking, I don't know, manipulative attraction or what. It's not even attraction. It's just, I'm going to try to force some shit. This is why people don't like this game of pickup artistry and whatnot. That's why they have to keep renaming it to natural attraction and whatever. But the whole point is attraction through honesty, being unapologetically yourself. Be who you are. Stop putting on the mask. Show her who you are. Be who you are. Unapologetically own every ounce of who you are and then demonstrate that by living a powerful fucking life and then have an invitation to play with her. Hey, you're pretty cool. You want to hang out? She's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to hang out. And then you'll find out in this game, women do all the chasing. And so for most men, they lose attraction in the relationship because they're lacking in power. And so what do? They lack in power. They try to double down in presence, which means, hey, let's talk about everything. Let's talk about our feelings. Let's go, hey, baby, what's going on? Why don't you like me? What's going on? How can I please you more? How can I see you more? How can I understand you more? What kind of gifts can I give you? How can I make you feel more special? Dude, the only reason she's going to feel special is if you're a powerful motherfucker and you chose her when you could have chose 50 other women. Now she's special. Not because you gave her flowers or took her on an expensive vacation. It doesn't make her feel special. It just makes you a fucking servant. Makes you a slave to her. You're putting her up on this pedestal like she's some goddess, and you have no power. So then from her perspective, she's got more power than you do. And so of course, she's going to look at you as weaker than her, and then she's going to not have respect for you, and that means that she's going to dry up for you, and she's not going to want you at all. She's not going to feel safe with you at all, because she's like, I am the safe one. I have to hold all the emotional safety in this relationship, because if I get upset, he's going to get upset. I can't talk to him. He'll just get upset. If I do anything, he moves his entire world based on my opinion. That's a guy who's not on purpose. That's not a guy who is strong in who he is. That's not a guy who has a don't give a fuck attitude. That's not a guy who is living in the direction that he wants. He's not living unapologetically. He's living for her. And from her perspective, out of her, he has got nothing going on. This is the whole game of happy wife, happy life. This is why marriages fail all the time, because the guy makes her his life. Brother, I'm going to tell you, your wife, when she's dialed in with you and highly attracted to you, she wants what you want. She'll go where you're going. She wants to live the adventure you're creating for yourself. And so when you can't do this, when you kowtow to everything that she's doing and you can't weather her storms and you get all upset, you get frustrated, she's like, I'm not really getting what I came here to get, which is great love. Make no mistake, your wife wants great love in her life. And if she wants to leave you, she's like, this might be my only chance to get that in my life. I have to leave him because there may be a better option. Make no mistake, your wife is leaving you because she thinks there is a better option out there. Yeah. So what happened? Why aren't you the best option? What did you do with yourself where you stopped believing in yourself, or maybe you needed the validation and approval of women, where you couldn't be the best option, where you're just not this dude who is on the top of his fucking game? And then when this woman decides she doesn't want to be with you, you chase after her even more. You reverse the game. Society's taught you that you should chase women, that you should buy them gifts, take them out, open doors, try to prove your worth to her. Prove yourself to this woman. What does she do in the world that makes it to where you have to prove yourself to her? Why is she above you? Who put her on this pedestal? You did. So if she's there and you're acting in this way, she's going to look down on you. She's like, yeah, you should prove yourself to me. I am the queen. Now she has demonstrated, she feels that she's more powerful than you, which means that she's not going to feel safe under your leadership. She's not going to take you seriously. She's not going to respect your opinions. And she's not going to get super wet for you either. But you, as a soul seducer, learn to leverage both of these games. And when you leverage both power and presence, not only is your wife feel absolutely safe and trustworthy with you, she'll feel like she can trust you deeply, she'll be absolutely dialed in with just you. And when a woman is completely dialed in with you, it lasts for decades because of the way that you're operating as a guy. And you'll realize that you get way more by doing like almost nothing. You don't have to do a lot in your relationship at this point because you're operating on the right frequency and she feels seen, heard, understood. And then this opens up the game that most men never, ever see, which is she is appreciating you all the time. All the time, every day. She's like, I can't believe you work so hard. How can I serve you? What can I do to make your life better? And some of you guys have felt this at one point in your life with a woman. She's completely devoted to you. She will push other men away. She will not allow anybody to interfere with your relationship because she doesn't want to risk losing you. She will take accountability. Why? Because you're worth changing for. Because you're her great love. The one thing she wanted more than anything else in the world is her great love. Dude, read any romance novel. It's the same fucking game. I'm not creating anything new here. I'm just showing you what already exists. And I'm unveiling the game for you so that you can actually understand the game you're playing. And when you do this, she's always open to you sexually. She's always turned on some level because you're always opening her up. She's always feeling connected to you. And when you can be this soul seducer guy, when you can open her up effectively and she feels fully seen, heard, and understood, her crazy diminishes. She becomes calmer, she becomes happier, she becomes lighter, she becomes more playful, she becomes more young-like in her demeanor. And she heals her trauma. And this is nice. It's really nice to have. Like, she's super grounded. It's really nice to have peace and harmony in your home and never have to fight. Not because you don't disagree on things, but because we're not bringing our traumas to the table. And a woman like this takes personal responsibility for herself. Why? She doesn't want to lose you. You're worth changing for. If your wife is leaving you, you're not worth changing for. If your wife doesn't take you seriously, you have no power. If your wife doesn't really respect you, she talks down to you, she rolls her eyes at you, and you just, well, I guess that's where I'm at. Well, that's what you got. You haven't demonstrated power in your relationship. There's no boundaries, there's no consequences. You just rather keep the peace. You don't want to have the hard talks. You don't want to have the collisions. And most importantly, you're not willing to walk away from a bad situation. So why the fuck would she change? She didn't have to, because you're not going to leave. That's codependency. Codependency says, you know what, I'll stay with you, but you got to let me do whatever I want. And you're like, I'm not going to let you do whatever you want, but please stay with me. She's like, oh yeah? How about I leave you? Like, okay, I guess you can do whatever you want, because I need you to stay with me. This is codependency in a nutshell. Brother, if you want to learn how to do this game of soul seduction and actually turn this shit around permanently, you can literally do it in the next month. In the next 10 days, you can have massive flips in your relationship, have first critical conversations, start demonstrating dominance, empowering your relationship in a way that doesn't cause collision, but actually creates more peace and harmony in your home. Maybe your relationship has failed and it ain't going to turn around, but you can turn it into a good co-parenting situation. Maybe you're dealing with narcissism or borderline, some sort of cluster B thing. Like, how the fuck do you manage that? Well, it's the same process. Same process if you're going out and dating. You just have to learn to operate differently as a man on a different frequency. That's why we call it soul seducer, because you reach right into her soul, you seduce her from within. If you want to learn more about that program, the link is in the description. Brother, if you learned something in this video and you want other men to see it, hit share, like it, subscribe it. And I want you to have peace and harmony in your home too, brother. And I love you very much. Have a good one.